Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast2Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast2Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV. And we're here for a little flatline racing bodies. Wednesday night hometown heroes. And we're at Knoxville Raceway this week. Not a lot of cars. Right now only 12 guys in the room. Kind of surprised. Knoxville is, a driver favorite a lot of the times. And expected to get little more heads in the room here than we have so far, but we still got a little bit of time here, I think, until what says the earliest they'll roll is at 7:45 on the schedule, which was 2 minutes ago, but they know me, I don't really mind waiting here. Gives me a chance to see some of the paint jobs some of these guys are running right now. We got Dean Reynolds out here. You see him pulling in. Let's go find Samuel Bachman. Oh, Samuel Bachman and Anthony Morano there with a big one. Anthony's going to have to go in. Got Brian Moore Sr. out here in the 558, excuse me. Actually, they are going to go ahead and roll it over here. Only 13 guys going to be in the show here tonight. So right now, coming into tonight, our points leader was Blake Chapman. He's not here. So Brian Moore Sr., he's 24 points behind. In P2, he's here. That's who we're watching on qualifying right now. And Patrick Spangler, 8 points behind Brian Moore Sr. in P3. So those two guys look to make up some ground here this evening. As Brian Moore Sr. takes the green flag here for lap number 1. Seeing the lines up here, somebody's running a line up top there, as you can see that they all, wear it at the same time. But right now, Brian Moore is on pole. Purple Sector 1, Purple Sector 2, Gavin Chatham in the 99. We know what that means. Patrick Spangler, did he improve on lap 2? He did. He's going to move up to P3. Let's see if Gavin can get any faster here. Fastest out of anyone through Sector 2. He does. He gets 0.04 of a second quicker. Gavin Chatham. Well, he had pole over everyone else there with both laps. Very impressive from Gavin. As we see Randy Shreves here, he's taking the white flag here. Randy Shreves right now P3 on that opening lap. Looks good through 3 and 4. Was slower through Sector 1, quicker through Sector 2. We'll have to see. Overall slower, though. Not what he was looking for. The Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. He finishes up. Where does he come home? 5th place. And that's going to do it for qualifying. John Hine is in the session. Not sure if he is still here racing or not, but he is the only driver there, the professor, not to put in a qualifying time. I don't think my mic's picking it up, but if it is, my apologies. Got an ambulance going down the road. As we get ready for Gambler Motorsports Heat Race number 1, starting on the pole, James Bond in the 007, Samuel Bachman into his outside in the 513, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Inside of row number 2 in the 56, Randy Shreves into his outside, the pole sitter, Gavin Chatham. Inside of row number 3, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano into his outside, the 518 of Joseph Grandy, rounding out the field. It's going to be the 71, the Professor, John Hine. Here's Samuel Bachman gets ready to lead us to the green flag here, heat race number 1. I believe the pace car will pull off through 3 and 4. It does. Pace truck, excuse me. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Let's go play in the clay at Knoxville Raceway. 7 drivers. Who you got? Big run right away on the outside for the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker and Gavin Chatham trying to hook a little line onto that 513 and go on by. He gets a little touch there from Samuel Bachman. No harm, no foul. They race on. Anthony Morano right now, he's able to move up to 4th. Now he's trying to get to that outside, but Samuel Bachman shuts the door. Randy Shreves in that 56 breathing all over him, but man, Gavin Chatham in the 99. We saw he got the pole. He was quick. Right away, lap 1, 4th to 2nd. Now lap number 2, he's trying to take the lead. Gavin Chatham in the 99 going high and handsome here at Knoxville Raceway, and he's going to have it at the line in the 99. Samuel Bachman in the 007 going to see if he can do the same thing. He drives way upstairs, opens the door for the 32, but he decides he needs the top shelf too. He's just going to get right back in line. Randy Shreves looks low on the 32 of Anthony Morano. He throws it in there. Can he make it stick side by side through 1 and 2 here? Advantage 32 going down the backstretch, but they get oh so close as they enter 3 and 4. Side by side, white flag in the air one more time around. Your leader, Gavin Chatham, you see that big lead there. I mean, he is gone. Jeff Barker, oh, Anthony Morano Barrel roll, hard wreck contact there with Randy Shreves, and Gavin Chatham's going to be your heat race number 1 winner, followed by Jeff Barker, Sam Bachman, and Randy Shreves. Let's see, I don't know if we'll have enough time before it kicks us out here. Randy, I mean, he's pretty clear on that. Anthony doesn't want to lift, but that's a case of, kind of have to, even though you don't want to. Is late slider by the 56, but I've seen a lot worse, that is for sure. As heat race number 2 here, I believe this is final heat. Not a lot of drivers here in the 360s tonight. Well, heat race number 2, let's bring up that starting grid, sponsored by Regency Home Inspections. Starting on the pole, the 09 of Brian Moore Jr. into his outside, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Patrick Spangler rolls off on the inside of row number 2 into his outside, Brian Moore Sr. Rounding out the field in row number 3, we have the 70 of Mike Cramner to the inside, and that 789 of Cale Bixler loading up here on the outside. As Brian Moore Jr. gets ready to bring us to the green flag. 6 laps here at the Knoxville Raceway. Not a lot of time, but big track, so plenty of time to get the move done. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Brian Moore Jr. brings us to the green flag. Dino trying to hook up on that top shelf. We saw it work in heat race number 1. Looks like it might work again here. Not going to be as easy as Brian Moore Jr. fights back hard, but Dino's got it at the line. 5 more times around here at Knoxville Raceway. Dad trying to go to the top shelf here, trying to take his son to school, but the kid's going to go up, slam the door shut. You got Moores second and third. Who is going to win the Battle of the Moores? Brian Moore Sr. looked to the inside after the top shelf closed. Can he get a run here? They're side by side through 3 and 4. Dino loves looking up in the rearview mirror and watching this, as these two are not giving each other an inch. Brian Moore Sr. throws the slider, scares Junior, and Junior cracks that throttle. Now Senior, he's got 2 more times around here. Flagman's got 2 fingers in the air. If he's going to make a move, he's got to have a good lap here, as there's a big gap, and doesn't really look like he's reeling that 79 in. Not having much luck right now as that 5:58.79 sees that white flag in the air 1 more time around. Dino doesn't have to be perfect here. He just can't make a big mistake. Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag in the air for this 79 as he wins heat race number 2, followed by Brian Moore Sr., Brian Moore Jr., Patrick Spangler, Cale Bixler, and Mike Cramner. Dino still letting it sing up there on the top shelf. As we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your feature action here for tonight's Flatline Racing Bodies 360 main event. Stick around. A wise man in the 79 once said, racetracks and sunsets. And boy, do we have a nice sunset here in Knoxville, Iowa. Right now, the 79, that man with those wise words, he doesn't get to enjoy that sunset. Right now, P6 on the charts, trying to find a little bit of speed, because right now, this man in the 99, Gavin Chatham, he is looked like a bolt of lightning around that top shelf right now, and he's showing Mike Cramner a little bit of that lightning as he goes down, shows him the left rear, guides it back to the top shelf, and he screams across the finish line, and that's going to do it here. For warm-ups, as you see, Gavin Chatham, Joseph Grandy, Randy Shreves, your top three. Anthony Morano and Brian Moore Sr., pretty close. P5 there. Gavin's kind of out of this world with his lap, kind of in his own realm. So these guys, they've got some work to do here, and as we get ready, we'll bring you up the starting grid here for tonight's 360 main event. Gavin Chatham in the 99 rolls off on the inside of the front row into his outside in the 79, Dean Reynolds. Jeff Barker, the Brewerton Beast, rolls off P3 into his outside in the 558, Brian Moore Sr. James Bond in the 007 rolls off on the inside of row number 3 into his outside, Brian Moore Jr. Randy Shreves in the 56 rolls off on the inside of row number 4 into his outside, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. John Hine, the professor, is going to take the inside of row number 5 in that 71 into his outside in that 789. You've got Cale Bixler. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, rolls off on the inside of row number 6 into his outside in the 70, Mike Cramner. And rounding out the field tonight, in that 518, we got $100,000, Joseph Grandy. As the pace car is off, we're not going to play around. The drivers are going to play here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. Let's play in the clay at Knoxville Raceway. We're underway. Dean Reynolds immediately to that top shelf. Gavin Chatham going to go up there and shut the doors. We watch the battling throughout the field. Sam Bachman in the 007 trying to make that bottom work. Gets a little loose on entry. Almost floats up in front of Cale Bixler, but Cale Bixler avoids, and Anthony Morano goes low. Cale goes high as Cale and Anthony there almost make a little contact on the entry to 1. John Hine floats up a little bit, gets into that 007 as they make a little contact. No harm, no foul. Sam Bachman got to lift out at this point. That's exactly what he does. Battle for P2. Here's Brian Moore Sr. able to get around that 79. Dean Reynolds looking like he's possibly fighting a loose sprint car. Maybe this is where you don't want to lose the speed here at Knoxville. You really don't, but maybe for stability, you dial that wing back just a hair and set that rear end a little bit and try to stand it up as it goes down the straightaway. But right now, Gavin Chatham with the pace out front early. We're going to watch him roll into turn 3 here again, and then we're going to go back up to the starter stand. Just watch him fan out here. All sorts of different lines as we see the professor go way high. Oh, Mike Cramner fighting a loose sprint car. Is there 3 wide there for a second for P3, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in that American-looking car. I almost didn't notice that 39 down there in the basement. Trying to get that Blake Chapman line to work. If Blake can't be here, I mean, there's going to be traction for somebody. No Terry Landis. Somebody's got to hook that thing up. Still 3 wide going down the front stretch. Dino turns down a little bit, maybe not knowing they were 3 wide, and Dino going to go for a hard ride into the outside wall. And man, oh man, somebody in this stream, I've been trying to watch the chat here. Yell at Shaggy next time he doesn't have that scoreboard up. As I was just enjoying it all to myself here. I had it on the wrong screen. See the 79 there missing the right front. We're going to go back and may have to rewind a little bit. Yeah, because it's going to start a little early because the caution came out late. We're going to go back a ways. We're just going to find a good camera angle here while this slows. Going to try to find that Chapman Racing drone camera. Here it is. Now the 79, okay, he probably doesn't realize they're 3 wide. You see, he turns down, he wants to make that turn, but he was going to have to go in a little higher just because Brian Moore, I believe that is Junior there. I mean, maybe could have turned in a little earlier, but he's trying to stick it in that middle line. He wants that tack because he knows he's giving up the bottom to the 39. And, you know, just in a tough spot there. High side banger, Patrick Spangler, though. He's able to get on up, move on up to 4th. He isn't your biggest mover, though, right now. He is up 4 spots, 8th to 4th. But this man in the 518, Joseph Grandy, he's up 5 spots. Remember, he started dead last year, up to 8th. John Hine there, back in the back. I believe we saw he made a little contact earlier. Him and Dean Reynolds both pitted, so that's why they are both at the back. Dean involved in that wreck. As the lights are off on the pace car, should get ready to go green this time by. As the pace truck will pull off on the exit of turn 4. And Gavin Chatham in the 99 will lead us back to the green flag. Had a huge lead early. Wants to get a good restart. See if he can build on it. Great jump for the 99. I mean, you just see him walk out. Meanwhile, Patrick Spangler wasting no time. We call him the high side banger. He saw that top shelf open. He went right up there and took it. Now he dives right down to the bottom trying to see if he can't get Brian Moore Sr. Side by side in the middle of 1 and 2. Patrick hits that berm a little bit. He knows he's got to get by quick. Gavin Chatham is a rocket ship out front. If you want to be able to win this thing, you got to get up there. You gotta be quick if you want to be able to go play. Here is Randy Shreves wasting no time trying to look on the top shelf. Here's Patrick's leaving it open. And, I mean, no surprise. Top shelf seems like that's where you want to be right now. So Patrick trying to go where the other cars aren't here and make a move. But let's go back. Let's work on that. Let's watch that hard charger. Joseph Grandy, 100 grand. Lizzie looks to the high side of the Ant-Man. Gonna run it in the middle. Really try and sling it up there. Try and work up behind the 513. What kind of runs he get at the line? Anthony's got him at the line. Morano doing a great job of working that bottom through 1 and 2. Especially, you know, I mean, he's got cars in front of him. It's not like he can go in there and throw a big slider to try to complete that hold off. Grandy is now Grandy, little more consistent up on that high side. Beat him to the line. Anthony with a big send. It makes Grandy slide up a little bit, but going down the backstretch, that 518 looks to have him as the 70 off pace. The battle has not stopped here for P2. Patrick Spangler has been working on him the whole time, been watching that relative. Just hasn't been able to get it done. Here's Randy Shreves. He's been able to reel back in Patrick. We saw Randy there early. I mean, he was right behind Patrick. Patrick went back to running that high side as we clicked away and run him down. But as he goes back down to the bottom, Randy reels him back in. So right now, Trek very dependent on the high side, especially, I know we call him the high side banger, but we see him run that low side. He likes to do it, but big slider from the 56 of Randy Shreves as they're side by side entering turn 3. The 39 going to feed him a little dinner back here as he slides up into Hershey Kisses. Great run there from the 39. He's got him back at the line. It's allowed Brian Moore Sr. a little bit of extension there, though. Has been able to just not look up in that rearview mirror, worry about himself. But the high side banger up there, he drives it right in on that top shelf, beating down the wall through 3 and 4. Gonna enter it right in up there again. Look at that run in the middle of the corner that the 39 has as we watch him close, going down the backstretch. Gonna look to send it in, but just not enough. Brian Moore Sr. He's gonna hold him. If Patrick's gonna do it, he's gotta drive it in deep here. Gonna pinch it off and find himself lost on the bottom here. Now Randy Shreves in the 56. Advantage 56 here. He's got all the momentum on the top shelf. 5 laps left here at Knoxville Raceway. Gavin Chatham has just destroyed the field here as the battle all night has been for second and third. Patrick Spangler looks to have a little more pace right now than Brian Moore Sr., but just not enough as Brian Moore goes in there, pinches him. That's where Patrick's got to goose it up and try to go, but caution is out with 4 to go. I believe Dean Reynolds possibly involved in the 79. Let's take a look. As he's right now got the high side on Brian Moore Jr. Oh no, this was the, well, no wonder that looked familiar because that was the first accident. Bonehead move, Shaggy. Here's the real caution. Joseph Grandy. Oh, he goes in there, clips the berm, gets into the outside wall in 3 and 4. Oh, comes back down the track. Everyone avoids him. Man, oh man, that could have been close. Let's ride on board with Dino. It looked like he had possibly a Code Brown moment here. Let's take a look. See that car in the outside wall? Dino has no idea. He's about to come back down. He misses. Woo, just a little kiss on the wall with that right rear, but Dino drives on through. Should have 3 laps left when we take the green flag once again here at Knoxville. And, well, without a heroic move from Brian Moore Sr., Patrick Spangler to get a 2 for here on a restart, I just don't know how that 99 can be beat here. He's very fast this evening, has walked away from the field. Nobody's got anything for him. I mean, to be honest, actually, now that I'm looking at this, Patrick Spangler, he does have the fastest lap of the race. Fastest lap of the race is a 16:06. Gavin Chatham very close with a 16:09, but they are the only ones. Well, Grandy with a 16:11, so also pretty close, but everyone else kind of in the 2s. So if Patrick could maybe get by Brian right away here, I mean right away, turn 1 and 2, he may have a shot, but he's got to be quick. He's got to be precise. I mean, he's got to be a surgeon out there. Does Patrick Spangler? As the 99 watches the Pace Steve King Foundation Pace truck pull off. And we've got 3 to go here in the Flatline Racing Bodies 360 main event here at Knoxville Raceway. Gavin Chatham leads us back to green. The high side banger goes right to that top shelf, tries to get that big run, and right now he does. If you're Patrick, you gotta send it here. You have to, man. You just got to. He floats it up a little bit more aggressively. Now here in 1 and 2, you gotta finish it. You gotta finish it. There he goes. He slides up now. Brian Moore Sr., can he counter back here as we have 1.5 laps left? Big send from the 558. Patrick's gotta watch the 56. No! Oh, I called that out. Patrick, not knowing that the 56 was going to be there, tries to cross over. As we rewind here, let's try to find a replay. I mean, we saw it coming. The 558 here, big slider. That's what he's got to do. Patrick, he wants to cut back down. That's why he entered in so high. Randy is floating up a little bit here as Patrick's coming down. You know, Randy did enter on that lower line. Patrick may not have seen him there on entry. And you see they go around. Brian Moore Jr. involved. We're going to keep watching this in slow-mo to see who else gets collected here. Jeff Barker barely gets through. You see him dirt tracking. John Hine gets through. Does Cale Bixler get through? It doesn't look good for the 789. He's involved. A tough break, you know, that's definitely not something Patrick Spangler wanted to do there, but... Oh, maybe green-white checkers were off or coming there around. I'm not too sure what the deal was. It had told us 2 to go. I think Anthony Morano maybe didn't even realize that the race was over. As anticlimactic there. Let's... Oh, okay. So actually, Shaggy did a terrible job here. I thought the caution came out. Must not have. There was no caution. That next flag. So the wreck happened right then and there. There was no caution. Let's zoom out here. So Gavin is coming here. He gets the white flag. No caution. So we're going to watch this here. Anthony Morano, I mean, they just drove through. This was the finale here. We'll watch them come to the starter stand. They're pretty spread out here. Gavin Chatham, you see him take the checkers. Brian Moore Sr., Anthony Morano, Dean Reynolds, Sam Bachman, rounding out the top 5. But yeah, wow, I could have swore I saw a caution come up there. That's my mistake. No caution, so anticlimactic ending, and I believe, yeah, that's just how far I was behind there. Anthony did pull up for that photo, and well, we'll give these guys a minute or two to catch their breath, and we'll bring them on up to the booth. Hey, Anthony, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
What's going on, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I had to go back and watch the replay. I truthfully, if you watch this, I missed your white flag lap. I thought the caution flew. Did you guys know that well, I mean, clearly you're in there, but did you think you were going to get a caution there with that quick wreck?
I thought I was good because I saw Gavin had already crossed the start-finish line, so we couldn't throw a caution at that point. So I just got my foot in it and got lucky that happened. Sucks for whoever was involved, but it worked out for me on this one, so I'll take it any day of the week.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things, you got to take gifts when they're handed to you, especially at a Knoxville racetrack that tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, seemed like it was pretty top dominant and pretty hard to pass here, Anthony.
It was. I was using the bottom a bit. I started a few rows behind Spangler, so I was watching to see what he was doing and just started following him around and worked my way up that way. It was he's got a little more practice in these things than I got, so just figured that'd be my best bet to get anywhere.
Yeah, we watched him work, but man, once you guys got up to, little through the meat of the field and got up to that speed, boy, it seemed like you needed that top shelf, but able to drive through that wreck there, get yourself into a good finishing position. You're a big points guy, man. That always helps, especially when guys like Blake Chapman are a no-show and Patrick has another tough night here. So good run, Anthony. Great points night. Who you want to thank?
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about points tomorrow night. Hopefully this hurricane don't knock out my power. But I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys at FTM, Dean at Super Air Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, MDI TV, Expert Insulation, Casper Flagstone, DJ Sim Shop, you for doing the broadcast number here at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, hell of a run, Anthony. Good luck in there. Are you going to pull out the 410 here?
Yeah, I got it, man. I got the points lead.
There we go, man. Good luck. Give him hell tonight, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
That's the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, your P3 finisher. And now we're going to bring up the man who, man, Brian, you had to play a lot of defense here tonight, but we saw you in a fun slider battle. How exciting was it here tonight at Knoxville?
Oh, that was fun. Yeah. Track never really went away. I mean, there was still plenty of grip all over. And, yeah, so you could kind of run the middle. You could kind of throw a slider. I even did a reverse slider at one time, kind of diming it coming out. And no matter what I did, I just wasn't gaining nothing on Gavin.
Yeah,
that was fun. Who was that? Spangler, I think, was getting inside of me. And I thought, well, I'll just keep running what I'm running. And if he can get by me on the bottom, well, more power to him. But I kept it momentum up on the top and just kept going back by him. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Fun. It was a master class kind of there that you gave him. I mean, you were entering in there in the middle, so you wouldn't let him, throw that big slider on you on entry, and you'd float it up on exit, and I mean, just drive away. But hell of a job, Brian. You really had to fight for this second, man. You earned it tonight, and well, it has to be feel a little better too the way you passed your son in the heat races. I got to bring that up for you.
Yeah, and at one time, I think I told him, man, if you're going to come up, you need to go ahead and come on up because I got to go here. And once he did, then I just kind of cut underneath him and made it work. I think we ran side by side down the straightaway, and then I threw a slider on him in that next corner, and it worked. So, and then again, when I got up to second, I don't think I had anything for Dean. And then when I got up to second in that feature, I didn't have anything for Gavin. He was just I tried to mimic what he was doing, and he'd still pull me. So
yeah,
he did a good job.
He's an artist in these sprint cars, that's for sure. But hell of a run tonight, Brian. Congratulations, man. Who you want to thank?
Just my son for all the practice we do together and being patient with me and helping me and shoot anymore. He's helping me more than I help him, I think. But give a shout out to my brother Rick and I think a couple of buddies of my sons are watching tonight. So shout out to them and you guys for putting this stuff on, man. Shaggy and the broadcast and everything that Coast to Coast does, man. I know that's a lot of work and you guys do a real good job at this. So I appreciate everything you guys do.
Well, I appreciate it, Brian, but calling your races is a lot more fun than it is a lot work. So I'll do this any night of the week. Great run here tonight and good luck in the 410, man.
All right. Thank you.
That's your P2 finisher, Brian Moore Sr. And now we're going to bring up the man of the hour here. Gavin, did you just set that thing on cruise control half the race? I mean, dude, when you go back and watch this broadcast, you're not going to see yourself much. You were dancing by yourself tonight. Hell of a race.
Thanks. Yeah, the car felt really good tonight, and didn't make a lot of mistakes, which is so key. Setting fast time and then doing well in the heat and setting yourself up for a pretty good position. Starting on the pole obviously is the best place you can go. And the car felt really good. The track changed a little bit through the race and it adjusted the line a little bit, but man, car felt really good on the bottom in 3 and 4. And this place is tricky, and if you don't run it right, you get up on that berm, it can kill all your momentum and speed. So it's tough. In the last couple of laps, I messed up my line a couple times going into 3 and 4. Definitely scrubbed some speed off, but all in all, it was definitely a good night for us.
Yeah, I don't know even if you run one or not, but if you do, did you happen to take a peek up in that rear view mirror? I mean, right as you got the white flag, there was a huge wreck coming out of 3 and 4. I kind of thought a caution came out, but man, you just took the flag in time. And from there on, it was a mess.
Well, I'm glad another caution didn't come out because they're definitely it obviously gets the field close back up to you, and it gives them an opportunity to make a run on you, or if you make a mistake, they can pounce. So I was really disappointed to see that caution with a couple laps ago. We were running really good, and then the momentum was my rhythm was good. I felt really good, and then the caution came out. But with 3 laps to go, it's really hard to pass, and definitely the lead car has the advantage for sure, especially on a short shootout like that. I mean, the second place car got to really be on it. But yeah, no, I don't even bother to look at it. When you're to be fast, you got to be looking out front and looking at where you're going, not behind you. So I definitely was focused on hit my line, hit my marks, and just being fast.
Well, man, you were just that tonight. You hit your marks, you were fast, and you really set a precedent here at Knoxville. Great drive. Congratulations on the win. Even bigger points night, man. That 0x with that win, that's huge. But who you want to thank?
I just want to thank you, Shaggy, for doing an awesome job with the broadcast and doing it every week. And I just want to thank Coast to Coast Racing, all the sponsors, everybody involved, admins, everybody that sets us up and lets us go out here and race and have a good time. So I want to thank everybody for that. I just want to thank China Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, and Miller Time Motorsports. Thank you, all the sponsors. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching these races and supporting this league. And I also want to thank my fans for coming out and supporting it. It feels good to finally. I feel like it's been a while since I talked to you guys, so it feels pretty good tonight.
Well, hey, man, you're a name we love to have up here. You're a class act. Congratulations. Great drive. And, man, hell of a win, dude. That was a statement.
Thanks, Zach.
And we're going to send him back down to the waiting room here. I'm sure we'll talk to him after that 410 race. Man, that 99 was quick. And you know the line here like that. It's going to translate into that 410 and Ugh, I tried choking on my own spit there. Excuse me. But with that, like I say, he's going to be a huge contender here in the next race. Stick around. We're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And they're going to put the big boy motors in now. We're going to get the 410s out, and we're going to go play here at Knoxville Raceway. So I'm Shaggy with Shaggy TV, and we will be right back in a couple minutes. Stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Is wasting no time here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Bill, I was the one messaging you there. Like I say, I actually, the more I thought about it, I think it is a D-class minimum, but that's the next license pass rookie. It's really not that hard. It's just, you go out there, race a couple times, you'll get that D license. But great place to learn. I mean, now, I'd be lying to you if I told you this guy in the 518 had a D-class. I mean, we got guys all around. Joseph Grandy's one of the best we have. Patrick Spangler as well, who just set quick time in that 39. So we really do have guys of all different skill. If you're 55 years or older, they also have an Old Timers Tuesday that I broadcast for this league as well. It's people 55 years and older, is drivers, everyone already. They all went out at the same time. They make it hard on me as a broadcaster. Everyone ran all their 2 laps, so we're just watching right now. Any guys on the track are just out here running extra. All their time laps are finished. Gavin Chatham in the 99. I told you that would translate. He's on the pole again. The 39 of Patrick Spangler. He qualified P2. And $100,000 Joseph Grandy. This guy just putting around the racetrack right now. Experimenting, saying hi to his fans. Coming out of 4. He's going to qualify P3. Go back to the pole sitter here if Gavin's going to keep ripping around some laps for us. But now that we clicked on him, he'll probably pull off the track because that's my luck. That's what he's doing. Thank you, Gavin. And with that, that's going to be it for qualifying here. There we go, advanced qualifying for us, and I believe looking at this here, Spangler. Okay, yeah, I was pretty sure. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tricking myself here. We got all 8 cars here in heat number 1. Starting on the pole, we have the 79 of Dean Reynolds into his outside, the 518 of $100,000 Joseph Grandy. Inside of row number 2, the high side banger Patrick Spangler into his outside in the 99, the pole sitter Gavin Chatham. Inside of row number 3, the Ant-Man Anthony Morano in the 32, the current point leader, and to his outside Brian Moore Jr. The Brewerton Beast Jeff Barker rolls off on the inside of the final row, row number 4, and to his outside, Brian Moore Sr. As I mentioned, Anthony Morano, your current point leader, has a 7-point lead over Joseph Grandy, so something to keep an eye on here. Joseph Grandy starting on the front row, needs a good start, got just that. Gonna try to... Oh, Dino! Floated up just a little bit, but honestly, Joseph didn't give him a lot of room. And, I mean, first lap here with a 410, you're kind of asking for it if you pinch that guy down, and it ended up paying off there for Dino. Not paying off for the 518. Gavin Chatham from 4th to 2nd, just like we saw in the 360 heat race, wasting no time. Oh, makes a little contact with the 79. He's got to hold on to it, but the high side banger Patrick Spangler goes around. Gavin Chatham gets a little sideways in front of your current points leader in the 32. He's got to go to the top shelf. He's got to find a way around. 3 laps to go for the current leader, Dean Reynolds. Patrick Spangler, you see him trying to reel in that 79. It's going to be so hard to pass here tonight. So if you can get it done in the heat and you can just set your pace out front in the feature, that's what the 39 is going to be thinking. But 2 more times around, he is running out of time. As they fan out through turns 3. Pretty much everybody there entering in that middle line, so that seems to be what's working. White flag in the air. Final time around for the 79 of Dean Reynolds. The 39 has reeled him in, but with only 2 turns left here, going through 3 and 4, Dean Reynolds in the 79 looks to have a heat race number 1 wrapped up here, and the 79 does just that. Dean Reynolds wins, followed by the high side banger, Joseph Grandy, Gavin Chatham, and Brian Moore Jr. rounding out the top 5. With that, we're going to take a quick warm-up break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your final feature of the night here for Flatline Racing Bodies, Hometown Heroes. Stick around.
For another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus. So let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
We are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, enjoying the final sunset of the evening here at Knoxville, and Gavin Chatham just took that top spot. Dino had it for a while, but Gavin just stole it here at the end of warm-ups with a 15:38. What that tells me is, not a lot of drivers here, only 8 in this feature, or 8 really in the show here, so track hasn't worn out too much here. Flatline Racing Bodies Hometown Hero 410 event. We got a pretty fresh track, so gonna be tough for these guys to pass, but you've got the chance to showcase your skills, at a difficult racetrack, and that's what these drivers are going to have to do, is starting on the pole here For the final feature of the night here in the 410s, Dean Reynolds in the 79, into his outside in the 39, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Inside of row number 2 in the 518, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy into his outside, the Dark Knight in the 99, Gavin Chatham. Inside of row number 3, Brian Moore Jr. into his outside, a familiar face to him, his old man, Brian Moore Sr. Rounding out the field tonight in row number 4, we have the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, into his outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. As normally here, they take this pace truck off the first lap here, Hometown Heroes. They don't disappoint. The green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps at Knoxville Raceway. The 79 leads us. Let's go play. He's going to send it up to the top shelf right away. Try to cut off momentum for that 39. The 99 of Gavin Chatham working on Joseph Grandy. He made that quick. Moves up to P3. Grandy knows he's got to get up in line. He's got to get to that top shelf. Patrick Spangler, though, he's got to go where Dino isn't. Searching the bottom through 1 and 2. He had a good run there going in, but Dino, all the speed coming off as they go side by side, entering into 3 and 4. Patrick Spangler able to make the bottom work in 3, but he's got to get up to the top shelf here in 1 and 2. Just too nice is the high side banger. Not going to feed him that gas tank. He's going to stay down low. Can he make the pass work through 3 and 4 as he hugs the inside? The 39 floats up. He gets the job done as he gave the 79 a little medicine there. Oh, but Dino says, wait, Shaggy, I'm not sick. I'm the one dealing out the medicine as he goes back to the high side here. Looking high and handsome. We got the Moores collecting. Brian Moore Jr. flipping. No wings. Senior, excuse me. No caution. They keep racing. The Moores, that is not what they wanted to happen. Not a lot of cars with no caution there. They may not get one as the 79 trying to stay hugged to the rear end of that 39. As we go on board with Dean Reynolds, take a look. We'll see what he sees. He makes up time going down the straightaway, but Patrick's so smooth and entering about a half a car length lower there in 3 and 4. Dino pretty quick, though, through 1 and 2. This is the money corner for the high side banger. Pulls away just ever so slightly, and now the 99, the Dark Knight, Gavin Chatham, trying to creep out of the shadows here, seeing if he can't work by that 79. Remember, Gavin Chatham, he won the previous feature event here this evening in the 360s by a pretty substantial amount here, was never really pressured. But now Gavin, he's feeling what it's like to be that 39. You know, he had a fast race car in the 360, couldn't find a way around P2, and now Patrick maybe struggling a little bit in that 39, gets a little loose in 3 and 4. Dino reels him back in, takes a peek on the low side. They're side by side. Coming to the line, the high side banger's got it, but Dino trying to think about sending it in there. He floats it up, the high side banger. Up where Mama hides the cookies. Dino showing him the gas tank. Patrick trying to get that run here as we have 14 to go. 2 laps from halfway here at Knoxville Raceway. Non-stop racing. We've lost one guy, Brian Moore Sr. so far. Brian Moore Jr. back here in the back, hoping for a caution. Jeff Barker able to get in front of Anthony Morano, who's had some troubles here this evening, but he's your points leader, so he's just got to stay out here. He's got to try to click off laps. Joseph Grandy here running comfortably in P4 as he watches the battle in front of him start to heat up. Gavin Chatham just trying to go where Patrick Spangler is in here, as Patrick seemed to have the fast car early on, slipped up a little bit, let Dino get on by, and now Patrick, he's sinking. The 39, he's got to be smooth. He's got to try to be fast here as Dino is walking away. 10 more times around here at Knoxville Raceway. Can Patrick try to mount a charge here, try to cool things off? I just don't know. It's one thing to catch a guy. It is another thing to pass him. And, well, the 39 he's got yet to catch, Dino. As we get ready to watch them sail off in here into turn 1, let's watch their exits. Patrick Spangler with a big head of steam goes back to that top shelf. Dino floats up there in the middle of the corner and just shuts the door. Dino doing a good job of playing that defensive line there, entering in the middle, sliding up here, doing a lot like Brian Moore Sr. was doing in that 360s and in that 360 sprint race, is Patrick Spangler. You can see he's trying to find a way. He's reeled him in, but just can't find a way to get that run on the 79 here as the 79 goes up and protects the top shelf. The 39 with a big run. Does he look low? He gives Dino a little bump as they enter the corner. Patrick Spangler, he's running out of options here. He's got the 39 back down in the basement, running that Blake Chapman line. Not going to get anybody selling us any popcorn tonight. Is Blake not here? None of his teammates here, but Gavin with a big boy slider. Patrick countering right back underneath. He can take whatever line he wants here. Gonna send it in deep. Coming to 3 to go this time by. Who you got here up front? Advantage 79 right now as we come to 2.5 laps left through 3 and 4. The flagman's got those 2 fingers out here. 2 more times around at Knoxville Raceway. The high side banger doing what he feels comfortable, banging down that high side, but he goes low here in 3 and 4. They're side by side. Coming to the white flag. It's the Patrick Spangler at the line. Gonna throw that slider on the 79. Dino looking to counter back. Side by side as they enter 3 and 4. Dean stuck in the middle. The high side banger trying to carry that run out. The high side banger steals it on the final lap from Dean Reynolds. Gavin Chatham comes home on that final step of the podium. Joseph Grandy 4th. Jeff Barker 5th, Anthony Morano 6th, Brian Moore Jr. 7th, and rounding out the field, Brian Moore Sr. I'll tell you what, for not a lot of cars, man, oh man, these boys really hung it out. They gave us a hell of a race, and that was fantastic. As we'll wait for these guys to catch their breath, give them a little moment here, but Gavin Chatham going to bring home P3, probably not what he wanted here, but at the end of the day, you know, you got to take it. It's a good run with these guys. And I see Patrick up here, but we'll save the winner for last. There's Gavin Chatham in the 99. Hey, man, just talked to you a couple minutes ago, it feels like. That was a quick race here tonight. Only 8 guys, no caution flags. Man, how do you feel after that one?
I feel pretty good. Just definitely a little bit disappointed. I think we had the fastest car, and when guys are running that close together, you can't slide anybody, and the track wasn't wide enough yet. Still pretty tacked up. Well, we had ourselves in a good position there, going in the heat race, trying to go for the lead there, and stuff happens, I guess. But I felt like I was chopped a little bit, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, we had to start 4th, but I felt like we had the best car. We felt pretty good, really, really fast, and obviously it's good to be up there with those guys. And congrats to Pat on the win and Dean for running 2nd. It was a good battle. It was we're nose to tail the whole entire race. So, but 3rd place run's good for us for sure.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, pretty good run, and I mean, I went and talked to the Moors a little bit there in warm-ups, and they, you know, we had the same feelings as you kind of said there. Not a lot of cars, tough to wear in the track, so, man, it's really tough to pass and really puts the pressure on you. One little mistake, I mean, you get out of that line, you can lose a bunch of spots, but you're able to move on up to that final step. Great job here tonight, Gavin. Who you want to thank?
Thanks. I just want to thank you, Shaggy, for doing an awesome job with the broadcast. I just want to thank Coast2Coast Racing, all the sponsors, everybody behind the scenes. Everybody helps put on this league and lets us come out here and race and have a good time. Put on a good show for everybody, and that was one heck of a show. I want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlet Motorsports, and Miller Time Motorsports. Thanks for all the support, the sponsors. Just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching this series and in this league and supporting the races. And I want to thank them and hopefully put on a good show for you all tonight. And I also want to thank my fans as well for coming out and supporting.
Well, hey, great run, Gavin. Good points tonight, and looking forward to a lot more of these, man.
Thanks. You have a good night.
And that's Gavin Chatham, your third place finisher. With that, we're going to pull up our second place finisher here, Dean Reynolds. I'm going to be honest with you, Dean. You know, you can go back, look at the broadcast. You probably hear it in my voice. When Patrick got around you, I thought this thing was over. And boy, you got out that fishing pole. You reeled him back in, man. You drove around him. I know it's got to be tough to lose the way you did, Dean, but dude, you are impressing the hell out of me in these wings, man.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, when Patrick got me there, I was hanging with him, and then I just tried a little slider line, and it gripped coming out of turn 2, and he probably spun his wheels in that slick a little bit there coming off 2, and I got the run, and then I was just utilizing that small slider where I wasn't going up to the fluff, and it was working. It worked to about 5 laps from the end, and then I was looking at my relative, and I saw they were both closing in, and then I actually did peek on my mirror, and there was Patrick high, and there was Gavin low, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll stay in the middle and see what happens. But then when he slid me, I thought I was going to have some momentum to get him, and then when I went in 3 and 4, I didn't see him in the mirror, so I said, well, I can't slide him here, or else I'm going to put him right in the wall, and then I said, let's see if he'll grip down low, and it was a drag race coming down, and he got me. But, finishing second to Patrick Spangler, nothing to be ashamed of.
No, absolutely not. And in the way you did it, I mean, you made him work for it. It's not like you were the carrot on the stick out there. He had to really work tonight, and that was a hell of a run, Dino. I know it's not what you want, but second place is great. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
Well, first, I do want to apologize to Joseph Grandy there. My car did get a little wide going into 1 there. I missed the bottom a little bit, and I saw that he went over my right rear, and I got him back, and he dropped back to 4th. And then me and Gavin got together coming out of 4, but I looked at the replay there. It looked like he came up a little bit more than I came down. So just a racing deal on both ends, but I felt bad on the Grandy deal. So I just want to say sorry to Joseph on that. And, I got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports. It's just a great bunch of guys. I'm glad Anthony had a couple good runs and got a podium on the first one. I got to thank Patrick Spangler. He helps me all the time, and lots of reasons why I got some speed is because of him. So I got to thank him. And then we had a little fun last night. I ran the Knoxville Nationals last night, and I actually won my split. I couldn't believe it. I actually won the Knoxville Nationals last night. So I'm back in the Knoxville Nationals right now. Patrick's back in. We're going to run that again tonight and see what we can do and go from there. So I don't know what it is with me and these sprint cars, Shaggy, but I'm starting to like them.
Yeah, man, you're mastering the throttle control, and it really shows, Dean. And I'll tell you what, we've both been there before, but if you go back and listen to the broadcast, don't beat yourself up too bad on that opening start. I mean, Joseph's doing what he has to do, but we both know the risk when you pinch that guy down on the restart. And stuff like that's going to happen here, especially when you're going fast. So great run tonight, Dino. I'm proud of you, man. Hell of a run. And, man, if it wasn't for Super Dirt Week, you might find yourselves in the points in these, but you're going to miss some races, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? The podiums is cool. Podiums is cool. Get a win here and there. It's cool. That makes me happy. So thank you again, Shaggy, for doing the telecast. And I got to say, hey, Marty, hopefully you're listening, and we're thinking of you too, Marty.
Yep. Amen. Congratulations, Dean. Looking forward to a lot more of these, man.
Thanks, Shaggy.
And with that, we're going to bring up the winner here, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. I'm going to rewind this video because right as I said that, we watched you take the checkered flag, man. I'm going to be honest with you, Patrick. I told you to tell you the same thing I told Dean, man. When you got around him the first time, I thought, it was curtains. I thought it was over, but what was the deal, man? Were you just missing your mark, or did Dino just figure something out and drive on by you? Hey, you're muted, Patrick. I can see that your green's on, but your mic isn't on. Give him a minute here. I always have problems with
Got
my
me now?
There we go.
Yeah, with the 410s, I don't know. Spots where I think you should have full traction, like right on the cushion there. Yeah, don't. And he blew past me right in the middle, so I'm still trying to learn the 410s there on some of these tracks. But yeah, he just blew my doors off there. I thought I was getting decent runs on 3 and 4 on the bottom, but he was faster than me in top 1 and 2. But then he blew me away. But then started reeling back in when the bumps came back in on the back stretch. He was going right through the bumps, and I was able to get above the bumps. And I think that was just giving me enough speed to catch back up to him.
Yeah, with like 3 or 4 to go, I think it was. We saw you get into the back of Dean a little bit, entering turn 1 and 2, and you fell back to about 3 or 4 tenths. Were you worried there at that point, or did you think you still had enough time to reel him back in?
I just didn't want to wreck him. Sorry to Randy in the 360. I didn't even see him when I turned down. But yeah, I was getting ready to turn down right behind him and throw the slider because I got a really good run, and then I just bumped him. And I guess you could say we were trying to bump draft, get away from Gavin. But no, I didn't know if I'd get enough time to get back to him, but I was able to, and just going a little bit higher than he was. I was probably like a half a lane higher than him, and that's what made the difference.
Well, Patrick, you end up making the bottom work here. You threw it in there. You made it stick enough in 3 and 4 that you could throw that slider in 1 and 2 on the final lap. Hell of a run here, man. Who you want to thank?
Just you for the awesome broadcast each week. Roger run the league, everything he does, all the guys that showed up tonight for 360s and 410s. Triangles Racing, and Dad Uncle back home watching.
Well, sorry, I muted myself there, Patrick. I was sneezing like heck there. Hopefully I'm done, but congratulations on the big win, man. It was a hell of a way to steal that at the end. You made it exciting. And, it should help you out here in this 410 points. I know you had a tough one in the 360s, but long way to go.
Yep, sounds good. Talk to you next week.
And that's the high side banger, Patrick Spangler, your winner here this evening at Knoxville. Thank you for joining me, Zach Chapman, here with Shaggy TV for Flatline Racing Bodies, Hometown Heroes. Tomorrow night, we've got a little big block and small block action on the schedule. And we are going to be in my backyard here, Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, for a little action at Lincoln Speedway. I'm going to be on that call tomorrow night, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Don't miss the show. Tune back in tomorrow around 7 Eastern, and I'll be on the call. From everyone at Coast to Coast, have a good evening.